such an asshole.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy this one. It's like manna for God. The Lord has come down from the heavens and given me. My God, my Christmas came early. I have a naive young Gen Zer. He believes in the concept of happiness. Ooh, sharpen those knives, baby. We're going to cut them up good. He wants to remain anonymous. I'm a 22-year-old male living in Europe. I finished a bachelor's degree this summer majoring in economics with a minor in accounting. Okay, you chose poorly. After some research on actually, he got the degree first. Then he looked at job prospects. How are you guys trying to repeat the millennial generation? Did you learn nothing from those fucking idiots before you? Have you not seen your older brothers and sister still sucking on your mom's and dad's tits at the age of 30 and they still don't have their driver's license? When you learn? Fucking Christ. After spending 4 years of my life and Lord knows how much money, then I looked into the job prospects of my degree. I did some accountancy exams outside of college in my final year that just about gave me enough credentials to secure a job in accounting during the COVID lockdown. I've been working in the job for a few months now. I'm interested in my work, but it presents challenges. I had to move far from the village I grew up in to the middle of the largest city in the country. I didn't know anyone after moving here, and making acquaintances has been a slow process, never mind true friends. My wages are not much above the minimum, and the cost of living is high, with rent taking up over 40% of my wages. Beyond that, I have 4,000 euro in debt, of which I'm repaying 100 euro every month. Adding to that, taxes and bills easily leave me with under half of my money gone, with all the rest being put into keeping food on the table. I am not in danger and have no addictions, but I don't have anything to spare to put into investing, which is unfortunate. Work hours are long. I work 50 hours a week. Oh, you Europeans. 50 hours a week is not long. That's nothing. That's even low for a young man just entering. And that is excluding study time for next accountancy exams, which is about half an hour a day on weekends and 3 hours over the weekend. Queendom states my IQ is 111. I see this as about right, as I generally a B student in school. And I got good enough grades in college because I studied like crazy, particularly in the final year. Well, see, that's legit. Then I think that is. People usually underestimate their IQ because they're lazy. But if you put your all in and you studied your ass off, then that's probably an accurate. That's good. And you know what? Your IQ is actually secondary to your work ethic. I totally believe that. I mean, you can't be a complete, like a genuine mentally retarded individual. But your work ethic is more important than your IQ, I would say. I plan to pass all the accountancy exams by the age of 24, but they don't exactly hand these things out easily. No, so they should just give it to you at 5 years old. Are you noticing things? Are you noticing that not everything is easy? Have you noticed that since you got out of college? Things are a little harder than you were told. I wonder if that'll go away. I wonder if it's just bad luck or temporary. For much of college, I would gauge my happiness at a 5 or 6 out of a 10. I was basically broke, shy, and underweight. I have hardened during that experience, taken less shit, and filled out my 6'4" frame at the gym. Good. Getting a job gave me extra confidence. I can claim to be fully independent, which is not what many 22-year-olds in my generation could say. Yes, all that moved me to a 7 on the happiness scale. It moved to an 8 for 2 months when I got into a friends with benefits with a Latino girl next door. The always available Latina girl next door. I wasn't emotionally attached, so I'm merely back to a 7 when we broke off, but I'm looking to make more connections to increase my chance of having fun with the opposite sex. I know the 7 now may decrease if things keep going like this for years. The weather sucks as well. Once qualified, I plan to go to a big city in the U.S. where there is sun and a lot of women in their 20s. Oh, God. Do you want to be happy? Link to the book below. It's in the description. It's called The Book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI of the Pursuit of Women. You're in economics. You're in accounting. You'll appreciate this. You are going to fly across the planet because of what you saw on television to go get the girls. You are making a mistake right now. We'll get to your overall problems later, but your number one mistake you're making right now is you are putting your happiness dependent on women. You're putting your happiness dependent on other people. That's another thing. Other people have different incentives. Other people have incentives that are not you. And women definitely have incentives that not always, but generally do go against your best interests. And if you put women at the center of your life and you make it like your source of happiness, you will be miserable. I cannot. Okay, first you go buy my book. Go buy my book. Second, not first, my book first. Second, after getting my book, then go get Rich Cooper's book, Unplugged Alpha. And it's a lesson you got to learn from him, man. Chase excellence, not women. I even quote him in my book. There's a fair amount of complimentary lessons in both of those books. All right, but you have my book first. Rich Cooper's second. So he's a dirty Canadian anyway. You don't want to read that, but you do want to get. You cannot base your life happiness on women and other people in general. It has to be internally derived. Now, it would be nice if you find a nice, sweet girl and you're friends with benefits, right? But you got to treat that like a bonus, like you just won the lottery or you found $20 on the ground. All right. That is not under your control. And usually women are going to make it they're going to make you less happy. The vast majority of experiences, and all the men in the comment section are going to agree with, the vast majority of the experiences with women left men more demoralized, less energy. It was a net negative experience. There are some girls that was a pie like, wow, zippity doo dah, zippity day, I'm in love. And then they crush you later anyway. But the point is, you're basically saying, I want to do heroin to be happy. I mean, it really is. It is about that bad. So let's get your young, naive 22, 23-year-old ass into the real world. You cannot put women at the center of your life. You cannot derive your happiness from them. It must be internalized. You must pursue excellence. And you sure the fuck should not be making life decisions about where to live based on hot chicks in LA. Dude, there are no hot chicks in LA. Well, okay. Relative to the rest of the United States, yes. But this is not a 1980s or 1990s LA cop buddy movie. All right. Yeah. And there's sun in LA. Right. And there's also traffic and taxes and a world of hurt. But go there. Go find out. I'm all for you. You'll learn. I would just recommend you visit LA before you move there or take a job there. So let's get that out of the way. A lot of women in their 20s. A lot of sun, a lot of women in their 20s. I don't plan on being a miserable minimalist living in Wyoming where it's almost empty and the few that live there are mostly old men. I was thinking about LA. I know you're not a fan, but my qualifications should be strong enough to eke out a solid middle class lifestyle where I can work relatively hard, but also be able to play hard. Dude, dude, we work hard. Here's where the MBA, my master's degree, comes in, but we play hard. Oh. Macho man, Carlson School of Management savage. No. I mean, go ahead. Go right ahead. By all means, bro. You go work hard and play hard in LA with your middle class lifestyle you think you're going to get, which you won't. So my question put simply is, do you think my general direction is correct one? And do I have my shit in order? Okay. You have your shit in order and your general life direction is the right way. You're working. All right. Your expectations are way off mark. Way the fuck off mark. Maybe you watch too much television in the country you're in. Maybe, a lot of the East Indians come over here and they're like, where are the American women with the boobies? Blonde hair. And it's like, yeah, that really is TV. And they're here. Yeah, there's a couple you don't want to talk to them. Trust me. And your expectation of what your career is going to be like is also delusion. Get used to this, motherfucker. You're going to work your ass off in your 20s. That's what you got to do. 50 hours a week. That's a joke. I mean, I'm even in my 40s. Now, admittedly, I like my work, but I'm doing about 70 hours a week, certainly 80 with writing the book beforehand. Now it's thankfully going down, but I don't think in my 20s I ever just worked 40 hours a week. I always had online classes, teaching dance classes. Again, those things are kind of fun. Yeah, man. And if you want, watch my video. No, what greatness is not achieved through a 40-hour work week. Right? And you're not skilled, by the way. You need your accountancy exams. You need to get your equivalent of the CPA over there in Europe. Right? And yes, it will be hard. Talk to Chad Elkins about how hard it is studying for the CPA and his master's degree. Yeah, and this is normal. That's normal. And oh, by the way, did you know fresh out of college you're going to be poor? Did you know that? Yeah, the magic 6 figures just doesn't come euro or American dollars. You are going to be poor for a while, yes. And you're going to have to get work experience. You're going to have to build that up. And you're going to have to leverage. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to claw. You got to apply for other jobs so you can leverage and negotiate a higher raise out of your current boss. If they don't give it to you, thank God you got another backup. You get to play this entire game. This is, again, why I recommend most people join the military. You don't try until you're 35, but no one listens to that. But yeah, you're going down the right road, and you're doing better than that. I mean, if you get your CPA or your accountancy exams, yeah, you're going to have a better life. But trust you me, it's not over. I was a little bit naive like this too. I thought once I graduated from college, I'm like, okay, it's not that I was going to be on easy street, but there was none of this full-time school, full-time work. I could just work and now make money and not starve. Nope. Nope. Not only did the baby boomers ruin that when they were in their 20s, like, dude, don't trust anyone in their 20s. And the Gen Xers, dude, don't trust anyone in their 20s. And certainly now the millennials, the 20s, they don't even show up. No one takes you seriously until you're 35. No one. And there's like millions of you, literally millions of you with a degree in economics, and your degree is worthless, frankly. Your accountancy is, well, surprise, you got a job in accounting and not economics. Who saw that coming? Me, this guy right over here with a book wrote 11 years ago, right here, this guy. Before he had gray hair, he wrote a book. Before he had gray hair, Clary wrote a book. And then the millions of kids didn't take a look. They all wanted bailouts from taxpayer money. And Aaron Clary shat on them and peed. That's what they deserve. Yeah, and that's just it. Well, you know economics, right? Millions of people dumped out in the middle of a pandemic. The economy's not doing too well globally. Yeah, you're going to work. You're just barely good. You understand equilibrium. All the kids go where the cool action is in the downtown, man. Wow, rent's driven up. I barely could get by. Yes. I would recommend you get another job. I think you should do you should do 80-hour work weeks just for the next year so you know what you're capable of and how bad things can get. Also to give you incentive to never go back to it. So that when you study for your accountancy exams, you make sure you study hard and you pass it, which I believe you will. It does seem like you give everything your all. But you are in for a world of hurt where you're like talking about your happiness. There is no happiness. Most of the world sucks. Most of life is unhappy because most people are assholes. Most people are communist, parasitic pieces of shit, whether they're conscious communists or not. People just want free crap. I mean, the best way we came along is through capitalism. It was like, hey, we're going to treat you with your own incentives. You don't work, you don't eat. That's it. You'll starve if I don't work? Yes. And you see people, I'm sure you've seen it where everyone's just trying to squirm, man. And instead of just biting the bullet and working hard, everyone wants to find a get-rich-quick scheme. I'll major in sociology and get a government job and teach children. I'll teach English overseas, there. And they're all avoiding hard work. So then when you go out there, you're surprised the market is flooded. You're surprised everyone's living where the action is. Yeah, it's going to suck. And then you think people in your home country are bad? I can't wait till you get to LA and California. I can't wait. You think your traffic is bad? You think your crime is bad? You think your taxes are bad? I can't. California, shitty song, shitty song, shitty song. I'm not going to sing it again. And then when you get out there, I can't wait for you to date a California girl. It's not the Beach Boys song. They're all on drugs. They're all mentally ill, and they are fucking addicted to their Marxist feminist politics and dog rescue. Whatever you were told by your parents and teachers and the television and the interwebs is a lie. Okay? This is a lesson for all you Gen Zers to get through your head. And if you don't believe me, you could study the generation before you in this book with all the data. I've been like, oh my God, holy shit. They're like the Walking Dead. They're practically dead, but they're only young and middle age. And they got like 30 years left to go at least before they pass away. If you like to avoid that misery, one of the key things, and this has nothing to do with your money, your income, your stability, but one of the key things to happiness is sanity, to understand what is reality around you. And my generation, every other generation, and certainly your generation, has been lied to about what to expect from the future. Did your mom ever tell you girls just like a nice, sweet, sensitive, kind man? Well, that's a lie. I'm sure that's cost you. Were you told to follow your heart and the money will follow? That's why you majored in economics? Well, you're finding out right now how that's a lie too. And I can't give you happiness. I can't give Gen Z happiness. What I can give them is the truth. And what truth allows you to do is acknowledge and realize the real world for what it is. And then it may not be going your way, but at least you know why. And that sanity is a huge first step towards happiness, or at least contentment. Now, there's no such thing as happy. Not like, no one's ever happy. You're always worried about stuff. There's always things happening. There's always communists and socialists and Democrats and Labor Party people trying to get your money. It's true. It's what they do. And so what you could go for is contentment, because there is no happy. That's like, I'm going to find a hot girl in LA who's not on drugs. Well, good luck with that, pal. But I saw it on the TV. That's going to ruin your life chasing a dream that isn't there. A realistic dream, something based in the real world, contentment, or just knowing reality and facts and what the real world is, knowing the matrix for what it is. That's real progress towards happiness, which again is not attainable, but contentment, peace, calm, serenity, understanding, sanity. That's what everyone can achieve. And all it takes is the balls. I mean, everyone here in the United States is brave and courageous, yay, and stunning and amazing. But it takes real bravery and courage just to admit reality. Yeah, this sucks this much. You know, the book I wrote, the book of numbers, read down below. There's a dose of reality. You are very statistically unlikely to be happily married. You got a 4.5 in like 1,000 chance of being happily married in the West. Okay. Now you could, well, it's sad and depressing. You know what's even worse? Getting married, getting divorced, or getting married and being unhappily married until you're dead. So you see the difference between living the lie and then acknowledging the truth. The truth may not be pretty, but living the lie is a lot worse, because you're living a lie, you're living a delusion, and the real world never goes the way. Look, I'll just give you one example. I don't know if it's the same over in your country, but here in the United States, the West in general, girls they thought career, education, politics, dog rescue themselves was the key to happiness. They thought happiness was within them. And so all these gals went off in their career, education, feminism, politics, leftist, never right wing, never like, I like guns. It's always what they're conditioned and programmed to like. And now certainly my generation, but the millennial girls are coming up now, where they've wasted and squandered their lives on work and paying taxes and politics, essentially. I don't care if I agree with your politics. You're a fucking fool for wasting your life on politics. I volunteered and did a march. Did you hit the gym and look hot for a guy to maybe fall in love? I'm not going to set myself up for a man. Fine. How happy are they? I got nothing but my Facebook full of divorced Gen X gals. And look, I can't find no man. Millennial gals, same thing. Egg freezing, going through it. They're not happy. Why? Because they kept looking for happiness and what they were told was going to be happy. You're told happiness is like a hot blonde chick in LA. Doesn't exist. Women were told the same lie, that happiness is working hard, paying taxes, going into student loan debt for a worthless and completely unemployable degree. And God Almighty, don't have men in your life, because those are the enemy. Those are enemy number one. They're also miserable too. What if we just acknowledge the inconvenient truth? Most men will be happy with a woman in their life if there are quality women. Most women will be happy with men in lives if they're a quality man. That's a big if, big asterisk. Read the book down below. Right? And we may, well, what is that? Now that's responsibility that's incumbent upon us. I have to be in shape for women. Women have to be in shape for men. I have to go to school and work hard and major in engineering to bring down a good salary. A girl's like, well, I better stay sexy, and otherwise the guy won't be physically attracted to me anymore. He might find a younger gal. Very inconvenient. Men will have a wandering eye if you get too fat. I better suck his dick. Not joking, not funny, haha. No, you want to keep him around? You want him to be happy? Well, better satisfy him sexually. And we can get all upset that that's not what we want to hear. What do you mean my blonde girl with the big tits over in LA isn't there? Well, by all means, go and find out. And that is the guaranteed path to misery. Right? So you are not guaranteed happiness. But by God, buddy, I can prevent you from being miserable. Right? And that's first by reeling in your expectations with reality. Right? You're going to work long and hard. If you're some high-end programmer or developer or surgeon, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you would make the 6 figs right out of school, but you're not. You need to get your accountancy. Yes, you are going to work 50. I would say get it up to 70 or 80 so you're used to that. And then, like Dragon Ball Z, train under 1,000 times gravity. You'd be like, oh, 1 time gravity isn't that bad. Just to get my geek on out there. All right? Get used to that. That's the new normal. You have got to lower your expectations of women. I don't have time to go into the details of it, but they are traditionally, yes, that would have been your number one source of happiness, joy, and love, and the family would have come with it. The vast majority of women are effectively not interested in marriage, certainly not being a wife. Get the book down below, go into the details there. What is it? Expectations in it. And if there is no such thing as happiness, but there is the attainment of understanding sanity, peace, and calm. And that's going to come with you realizing that, I got to work more. No, there's not my wonderful betrothed wife who's going to love me till death do you part. And if you get, people are going to call it cynical. People are going to call it pessimistic. I beg to differ. It's reality. That's how, quote, bad things are. And somebody who doesn't acknowledge this and get this through their head is going to live a miserable life chasing a dream that's never going to come to fruition than somebody who says, oh my gosh, this is the Matrix. There are these like floating squid mechanical monsters. I better get my shit in order. I better start making decisions in this world. Over the long haul, no guarantee of happiness, but you will not suffer. You will not be miserable, and you'll have peace, contentment, and serenity. And that's it. That's all you got. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Let's go to the super chat world. And Cappy going to go to the gym. Why Cappy go to the gym? I hate the gym. I hate the gym more than anything else in the world. Well, I hate teachers more than anything else in the world. The gym is very close. Why do I do that? Because that's what I got to do to keep the girls happy. ISO talks for $5. My first semester MBA, I feel like dropping on. I'm 27 and want to do the CPA instead. The people in my program are so entitled. They think they are the CEO. Yes, ISO, please drop out. Like, if you're going to do something, go get a master's in accountancy. What an MBA is worth. Like, I don't know. That's old school. This is so, we should have a whole different Clary calendar. Like shit I observed long ago. Like that is so 1999. The MBA is worthless. It's 20 years old, man. And I wouldn't drop a penny on an MBA. BPNP, 5 Canadian bucks. Should we implement a voting system where men must be able to do 15 push-ups and women are a certain BMI to vote? Yes. Yes. No, but I think I've said it before. My ideal franchise, the way we would have suffrage, is you have to be a net taxpayer. And the best way to do that is to have a sales tax, a national sales tax that everybody pays, and then everybody can vote because you pay. It's a very simple solution. It gives everybody the widest right to vote. You have to be a certain age too. I would boost it up to 25. 20-somethings and teenagers don't know anything. You guys are completely stupid. You're so dumb. It's like, please just get out of the way. Yeah, and that would be, and it's like, well, you paid taxes, right? You paid your 33% sales tax, right? Because that's what it translates into. But nobody did the studying or the economics on that. What do you mean 33%? I thought the rich, I'm a pretty girl. I shouldn't have to pay taxes. That's for other people. Rob Fagolski, our Polish agent in the field, for $5.01. Sounds like the male version of the 90s Sex of the City type unrealistic expectations Gen X women had. Yeah. How are those gals doing? Oh, I remember that was such a big thing in the 90s and the early odds. Sex of the City. All these girls, oh my goodness, men are just so like that. And women actually moved to New York City to have that lifestyle. 20 years later. I gotta go out to Nevada and buy this tract of land so I can get a salt mine so I can pour all the salt in the world onto the millions of women that believe that bullshit. Oh, John, $2. What's Cappy's go-to McDonald's order? Big Mac meal with contradictorily Diet Coke. Because some with that sugar, man, I just kind of like, nope, give me the carbs. I'll take the carbs. Adam Smith von Hayek, $2. Wires and Gen Zers cried to boss. Co-approved Pearson book. Okay, good. And then Adam Smith von Hayek, $2. Jordan Peterson's new books. Oh, the employees cried. They fight. Right. When Jordan Peterson launched his new book, I think no more than a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Who knows what it was about? It's probably about independent thought. Penguin Publishing, I recall. The employees of Penguin Publishing all read, we should have published it. And it's like, well, yeah, you're a New York publishing house. You hired a bunch of literature majors and reading majors. What did you think was going to happen hiring these low-grade troglodytes that don't know anything but, I'm so intelligent and smart. I work for Penguin Publishing. Mom, Dad, can I have a bailout? Miguel, don't you go home, man? Miguel Angel Casillas for $5. Stanford University business dean was dissing Elon Musk for calling out the adverse sheeple-type MBAization of the workforce. Musk claims lack of creativity. You do not hire an MBA. You do not get your MBA. You do not hire an MBA. The only time you get your MBA or you hire an MBA is if you can get into like Wharton or Harvard, but that's a completely different world, right? But unless you get into a top league, Booth School of Business, Wharton, you don't get your MBA. You are just an idiot and a debt-ridden idiot. And then you all become realtors anyway. You borrow more money to go drive yourself a BMW or Mercedes to look like you're a successful real estate investor. Brr. I've seen it, guys. I've seen it. I've seen behind the curtain. I've seen all these tax returns. I've seen them all. You're all posers. You're all liars. You're not fooling me. I'm just trying to prevent all you guys from going and doing the same mistake. All right, there you go. The book is down below. Please get it so you can reel in your expectations and not be miserable. We're not going for happiness. We're just going for contentment and avoiding misery. All right, see you guys later. Toodles.